There are movies, and then there's The Godfather. Francis Ford Coppola's 1972 epic. It's just more than a film, right? It's like a cornerstone of cinema. But what is it exactly that makes it such a masterpiece? Why are we still talking about it, deconstructing it, all these years later? Well, let's dive in and figure that out.
I mean, think about it. Why is a film that's over 50 years old, 50 years, still basically homework in every film school on the planet? Seriously, what's the secret sauce here? What gives it this incredible staying power? Well, the answer, it's a lot deeper than you might think.
Okay, so here's the absolute core of it. The real genius of The Godfather is that it took a genre people thought they knew, the crime story, and turned it into something, well, something universal. It's not just about gangsters. It's a deep, profound look at family, at power, and at the legacies we leave behind.
All right, so first up, this is way more than just a gangster flick. We're going to talk about how Coppola basically blew up the genre and rebuilt it from scratch.
Yeah, the whole crime element, that's really just the car Coppola uses to take us on a much bigger journey. The real story here is a deep dive into these huge, timeless ideas. I'm talking about loyalty, the American dream, the crushing weight of family. The stuff that resonates with all of us, gangster or not.
And of course, you absolutely cannot talk about The Godfather without talking about two legendary performances. I mean, these guys are the heart and soul of the entire Corleone family.
First, Marlon Brando. His Vito Corleone is just iconic. There's no other word for it. He's not your typical loud, yelling mob boss. No, he's quiet, he's calm. And that's what makes him so terrifying and powerful. He really is the beating heart of this film. Commanding, unforgettable, just wow.
And then you've got Al Pacino playing Michael. And his story, oh man, it's the central tragedy of the whole thing. We literally watch him go from this innocent war hero, an outsider who wants nothing to do with the family business, to becoming the new Don, cold, calculating, and maybe even more ruthless than his own father.
And this transformation, it's widely considered one of the greatest character arcs in all of cinema history. Seriously. It's this slow, painful descent, and Pacino is so brilliant you believe every single step he takes into the darkness. It's what gives the movie so much of its emotional gut punch.
Okay, so the acting is legendary, but that's not the whole story. A huge part of what makes this movie a masterpiece is the stuff happening behind the camera, all those unseen elements that come together to create this incredible work of art. It's like this perfect artistic trinity. First, you've got Francis Ford Coppola's direction. It's so deliberate, so meticulous. Every shot feels like it has a purpose. Then there's the cinematography by Gordon Willis. His use of shadow and warm light is it's like watching a painting come to life. And finally, the score. Nino Rota's theme. Oh, that theme. It's so haunting and beautiful. You hear it and you just feel the whole movie.
And the dialogue. Come on, I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse. This line is so much more than just a quote. It's part of our culture now. It perfectly sums up the power, the threat, the chilling logic of their world in just a few words. Absolutely iconic.
All right, let's get a little deeper. Because at its core, this movie is really about the corruption of a dream. It's a tragic, twisted take on family, loyalty, and power.
So what do we mean by the Godfather edition of the American dream? Well, think about it. The Corleones are trying to achieve what everyone wants, right? Security for their family, a better life, but the way they go about it. That pursuit gets twisted into this dark cycle of violence and control. Everything they do, every terrible act, is somehow justified in the name of family.
And the way the film is structured just drives this home perfectly. We start at a wedding, right? It's this big, vibrant celebration of family and community. But where do we end? We end at a baptism, a sacred ceremony intercut with Michael ordering the brutal murders of all his rivals. It's one of the most chilling, brilliant sequences in film history, and it shows just how far he's fallen.
So, when you put it all together, the acting, the masterful craft, these incredibly deep themes, you start to understand why this movie has such an enduring legacy. It's pretty much unshakable.
Just let this number sink in for a second. Over 50 years. That's how long it's been since this movie was released.
And yet, it feels like it could have been made yesterday. It's still so astonishingly modern. And why is that? Because the things it talks about, family drama, the corrupting influence of power, the tough choices people make, those things never get old. They're just as real for us today as they were back in 1972.
You know, at the end of the day, what The Godfather did was revolutionary. It took what could have been just another crime story and turned it into a full-blown Shakespearean tragedy. It proved that a quote-unquote gangster movie could be, and in this case is, high art.
And look, the verdict is in, and it's unanimous. It's a 10 out of 10. A masterpiece of storytelling, acting, and directing. It just fires on all cylinders, from the very first scene to that final, haunting shot of Michael.
Which leaves us with the one big question that still hangs over the whole film. Who is Michael Corleone really? Is he a straight-up villain, or is he a tragic hero, trapped by his family and his fate? You know, the fact that we can still have that debate more than 50 years later, well, that right there might be the biggest testament to this film's incredible, enduring power.